G-Plat wire versus Kanthal. When I first received this stuff, before even taking it out of the package and trying it, I was like, I don't know about this stuff. Looks just like Kanthal or Nichrome with someone's logo on it. Totally not the case. After using both versions for the last 3 months, I gotta tell you, I'm blown away by the vape quality compared to Kanthal A1. Right now I got a 24 gauge parallel build in here using the red version sitting in the Mephisto RDA, and I've got her on this V3 Flip 24 karat gold plated special edition. Oh yeah, the build I have in here is reading 0.57 ohms. But how does she vape? Flavor is stupid! Stupid good! Vapor production, first rate. To me, it's about the same as any solid A1 build. Density production using this G-Plat wire is about the same as the Kanthal A1. Except one thing, and that is that using the G-Plat wire, I not only get more crisp notes than the Kanthal A1, I get just as dense of a vape as the Kanthal A1. Yeah, the G-Plat is giving me more crisp notes, sweeter notes. I mean, it's a big difference, and you really don't know how much of a difference it is until you go back to Kanthal after you use this stuff. With Kanthal, flavor is about halfway there compared to G-Plat. No shit. You notice how when you're vaping a sub-ohm build using Kanthal, something like a 0.5 or lower, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, you get the drift. After about 5 to 7 pulls, you notice that your chamber is getting super hot. I mean, so hot that your lips can't even touch the drip tip. You notice that? Well, with G-Plat, yes, your dripper does heat up and get hot over time, just like with Kanthal. But the thing is that it cools down twice as fast as Kanthal. I also noticed that when using G-Plat, it fires up faster than Kanthal. It's not like a crazy difference, but it's definitely noticeable. Like I mentioned, you got two versions of G-Plat. You got the red version, that's for your cloud chasers, still get fantastic flavor. And then you got the blue version, and the blue version is the elite version, okay? It's higher grade alloys. It's been treated more to make this stuff a little bit softer than the red. It's a shinier wire. It's made for your flavor junkies. But to be honest with you, I've tried both of them. The elite version I've been using the past month. The red version I've been using the past 3 months. And I can tell you right now, I prefer the red version. It does kick out more vapor production. And honestly, I get just as good a flavor off the red version as I do off the blue version. I do notice that the blue version is a little bit softer than the red version, but not by much. Yeah, flavor from this red version is just as good as the blue version, IMO. I spoke with Mark, the guy who owns Vapenology, which is the company that manufactures G-Plat. According to him, Vapenology has a special recipe of the highest grade alloys, and they are blending those alloys together. Then what they're doing is they're getting that special recipe treated to make it softer. It is super easy to wrap your coils, and it's easy because it is soft. Okay, so when Mark says they treat it to make it soft, I'm glad they do that. And it's noticeable that they do that because when you wrap a coil, it does not recoil on you. It's not springy one bit. It's soft like butter, like whipped butter. Before I get into the price, where you can get it, and whether I think it's worth it, I'm going to take you guys up close, show you the difference between G-Plat and regular old Kanthal, how I build a parallel coil using the G-Plat. Let's do it. Alright, so here's the G-Plat wire. You've got the red version, the version 1, and then you've got the elite version, the blue version. So I call it the red version or the blue version. The red version is more for your cloud chaser type vapors. The blue version, the elite, is more for your flavor chasers. Now I'm going to go ahead and already tell you, just like I did in the video, I prefer the red. So that's what I'm going to be using, but I want to show you guys both of them and show you guys the difference between both of them, and then we're going to compare it to Kanthal before I do a parallel wrap and install a G-Plat coil in my RDA. Turn it around and you've got the wire, and they also sent these cotton balls, 3 cotton balls with each G-Plat set. In my left hand, got the red version G-Plat, and in my right hand, I've got the blue version Elite G-Plat. Now it's hard to notice this on camera, it's almost not noticeable, but the Elite version is slightly shinier than the red. The Elite version is going to cost you more. It's been treated a little bit more. It's softer, not much softer, but it's slightly softer. You get better flavor. Supposedly you get better flavor. The red version's more for your cloud chasers. You get those plumes of clouds. Flavor is still top notch. In my opinion, I think the flavor off the red is just as good as the Elite in my right hand. And I actually prefer the red because I not only can get those clouds, but I can also get that kick-ass flavor. With this stuff, I get the flavor, and I notice that it's really sweet. You get those sweet notes, but the clouds, you don't get nearly as much of the clouds as you do with this stuff right here in my left hand. So easy to work with, easily moldable. It's just one of those things that you're going to have to experience. It's hard to see over camera, but it's a lot softer than Kanthal. Once you wrap it around your drill bit, it doesn't spring on you like Kanthal. So this is the red version. Here's the elite version, and it feels even softer than the red version. Not by much, but I can tell a difference. Like I said, it's so easy. It's just like butter, like creamy butter when you're working with it. Then you got Kanthal. Here's 24 gauge Kanthal. Kanthal is so much harder to work with when you're wrapping coils. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a parallel coil using the red version G-Plat wire today. Watch how soft this stuff is. It's like butter. Using a 1/8 inch drill bit. This stuff is so soft, you don't even need to work it with tweezers. And because it's so soft, you get a better connection with this parallel build. I'm actually going to bend it up like this. Cut my leads. Squeeze them together. Perfect. Glowing from the inside out. It's exactly what you want. Okay, we're looking at 0.57 ohms. And that is G-Plat, boys and girls. Prices, prices, prices. The elite version is more expensive than the red version. Mark sent me a chart, so I'm going to share it with you guys right now. Those prices are steep, expensive. Like I said, I prefer the red version over the blue, and this is like $5 more expensive. Go with the red version if you're going to get this stuff. You get more plumes, more clouds. You get just as good flavor, IMO. It's just as easy to work with. I mean, not quite as soft, but it's super soft, especially compared to regular old Kanthal. The biggest question of them all is, do I think it's worth it? Well, that's a good question. You know, it's really hard for me to judge because I received this free. It's not like I went out and bought it. But after seeing the prices and seeing how steep they are, I mean, shit, that's expensive. I bought this A1 24 gauge from Kidney Puncher. 250 feet for like 35 bucks. For this stuff right here, it's like what? 20 bucks for 20 feet? Freaking expensive. If you got money to blow, give it a shot. The vape quality is definitely, here's Kanthal. Okay, vape quality of this. I mean, it's that much better. Vapor production, about the same, but the flavor's killer. But for someone who doesn't have the vape budget, you're probably better off going with just regular old A1 Kanthal just because you can get way more of it. These guys are sending it off. They're getting this stuff specially made with the purest alloys, but it's custom made wire. I mean, that's why it's more expensive, obviously. But I don't want you guys with a smaller vape budget to buy this, run out, and then be dependent on this and go back to Kanthal and go, oh shucks, this stuff sucks. I mean, I don't want that, okay? So if you got the money to spend, yeah, go for it. It's definitely worth it if you have the money. Where do you get this stuff? Mark sent me a list of brick and mortars that carry it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that from his email. I'm going to post that in the description as well. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.